Hello, beautiful, amazing world, and you, wonderful, fantastic individual. Today, I would like to speak about, or talk a little about, the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the human kingdom, as best of my abilities, of course. When we see out with our senses the physical world, we do have the mineral or the rock, the physical form of this wonderful earth. When we observe that in on itself, you can see that certain rocks are in decay, in constant crumbling. It is kind of dying constantly. And there is really hard to penetrate into minerals in general because they are kind of asleep. It is the same with our body. Our body really is dependent on how much we can willfully master it with our freedom. If we let it go and let it be dragged by all impulses and all kinds of addictions and different distractions, the body would slowly deteriorate and become duller. But if we daily use the faculties we have been given to dig into and try to actively understand things alive, lively in our consciousness, it is a constant effort. We become stronger in our being. We become more clear in the way we want to speak, in what we want to put forth, and how we want to operate in this world. We do not anymore just want to spout out things that don't have any substance, like hello, the weather, and this car is nice, and the football team, and you rather want to go deeper into life, the many mysteries of what life has to offer, like trying to understand the mineral kingdom at first. Then you can go to the plant kingdom. It is a little different there because it has, yes, a mineral body, the physical form, but it also have the etheric, the life-formative body, which come from the sun. And you see it brings about life every summer from the sun when the sun again shines forth in its true beautiful light. And you see the flower it's like it pushes out of the ground because the sun drags it out. It's beautiful. But they are only operating simply, very, very simply, stretching toward the sun, and with a beautiful leap they suddenly sprout new flower petals in beautiful colors. It is a wonderful sight to see, especially in the midsummer and in the early summer when things are starting to sprout. It is also beautiful in the fall time when you see everything is about to die. You contemplate these different things. And then you come to the animal kingdom, which is a little different again, with more movements, with pleasures and desires, and they live in a certain instinctual world. They live in a certain automated way of living. Their group have a certain group soul, and their group soul is reflected in their form and in the way they behave and in their movements and in their atmosphere and in their environments. They are fully and wholly being affected by these things. And the animal kingdom is so simple and beautiful, ignorantly blissful in their own existence of instincts and desires. But they can't live outside of that unless we as human beings introduce them into a new environment that allow one of their brothers in their species to grow. Of course, that growth affects the whole of their species. If only a little bit, it affects their whole species. With us human beings, we are very much different from animals because we have been given the I, the ego. What makes us stand upright, what makes us contemplate and understand both the animal, the mineral, and the plant, the human kingdoms. To be able to contemplate these things, our eye is so important. We are over time now being misled to think that our ego, our I, is pride, is egotism and narcissism, when the truth is our I is very sublime, and if you use your ego here and now observing yourself, you will quickly see what I mean. It is so important to have it, especially in spiritual development. We are meant here on earth to develop our I in freedom and choose whether we do morally and ethically inclined actions, or if we do evil or immoral actions. I don't like saying evil, it is too boo. And to not get hung up on everyone else's actions and do action by our own choices, by what we ourselves feel, and sharing it with humanity. We can never forget humanity. We have always to see humanity in its true light and study it as curiously and as openly as possible. And when we do so, we open up a certain reverence to creation. It is also important to study the planets and the constellations and the stars, to look up to the universe, to look up to the cosmos and contemplate the stars also. And we have a whole lot of wisdom based on these things we can study, and it is all open to us on internet. That is amazing. So the mechanical forces have brought about some wonderful apparatuses to be able to share information with. And this we should thank the higher ups, more or less, that we have this. It brings about a certain connection to the whole globe. You can have a peek on everything, and by being more curious about it and letting your self-interests, put that aside a little and try to be more interested in the world and in everything that is not us personally, but use our I to be aware and alive to it, to let it affect us, to let us work upon us, but also contemplate with our thoughts, with our emotions, what we have experienced, learning about it, growing from it. It is a constant thing. It happens all the time, here and now. Movements. Everything is alive and in movement. Everything is changing, forming. And we humans have the capacity to change as we ourselves in freedom chooses to focus on it. The more we focus, the more we are consistent, and the more sincerity we put in it, the more we gain out of it as gifts to share to the world. It is useless alone. To have it, to use it as power, to have it to dominate or suppress or oppress others, is completely forbidden. It is for making others be free in their own choices. Everyone has a choice. Everyone do actions every day, and it is the actions. The actions is what reveals. The action is how we are perceived in this world, but many people might have forgotten this. Everyone can say words and sentences, but if the actions are not in tandem with them, it will be a dissonance there. So it is important to be truthful with oneself. What is our limits? What is our strengths? And how we can operate as effortless and as effective and harmonious as possible. But patience, and compassion and care for oneself while you do this is important. We have limits. We are human beings, physical. So I think this is what I had to say today. May the divine guide you all, and may we all find what we are looking for and be curious and reverent and grateful for the path we have chosen for ourselves and what we are to expect and what we are to learn and grow for. May we all find for ourselves that joy of living, that will to live. Thanks everyone. I love you all. Thank you. Goodbye.